The National Council on GBV and Femicide Bill may be challenged, according to Sibongile Ndashe, Executive Director of the Initiative for Strategic Litigation in Africa, ISLA. Please kindly hit on the subscribe button as we go into the details. 2 months ago, President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the measure into law. The measure aims to look into high-profile corruption cases and combat gender-based violence. GBV. The National Council on GBV and Femicide will be established under the GBV Act, which is committed to women's protection and security by using a group effort to end violence against women. Ndashe clarified, however, that the act was put in place to support the institutional structure in responding to femicide and gender-based violence. She clarified that the reason they supported the measure was because the government was going to create a fund to help the response to gender-based violence. She said it wasn't about discussing other types of violence since it was covered by other pieces of law. Compared to how we started the 6th administration, when we worked closely together, we are starting the 7th administration with a different message from the government. The government has led us into unnecessary meetings, wasting a whole administration in the process. We spent 6 years developing the following framework, which we agreed upon when the push for a complete shutdown began in 2018. The law has just recently gone into force. There are many flaws in this recently approved legislation, making it unfit for its intended use. It won't assist us in organizing the reaction. Over the course of 6 years, it has become the most impolite method of interacting with society, according to Ndashe. She said that the measure that was signed into law was in direct opposition to the agreements reached at the previous 2 presidential summits. The amendment to the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, a bill that established the Investigating Directorate against corruption, became the NPA Act. The Investigating Directorate, ID, which was established inside the NPA 5 years before to look into cases of corruption and other major crimes, noted by the Committee of Inquiry Investigating State Capture, would become a part of this directorate. Ramaphosa claims that in the last 5 years, the ID has made strides, bringing 39 state capture and corruption cases to trial with 212 accused individuals and 68 accused businesses. The president went on to say that over the previous 5 years, the NPA had succeeded in getting almost 700 public servants found guilty of corruption. Over our $14 billion worth of state capture assets have been restricted and maintained by the NPA's Asset Forfeiture Unit. Thus far, more than our $6 billion has been retrieved. With complete criminal investigative authority, the Investigating Directorate against Corruption will be a permanent organization under the direction of the prosecution. This law will assist in resolving issues with the NPA's ability and knowledge to look into and prosecute complicated instances of corruption. In order to fulfill its objective, the Investigating Directorate against Corruption will be able to hire and maintain specialized talent. He announced the appointment of permanent criminal investigators with full police authority. In his closing remarks, Ramaphosa said that the ID would benefit by working with the business community and other social partners to combat corruption. For instance, attempts are being made to establish a digital evidence unit, which specializes in the identification, collecting, analysis, and presentation of digital evidence, as part of the collaboration between the government and industry. The president said that the prosecution is a state's most serious and reliable tool for accountability. Once more, a stunning disclosure was made by ANC veteran Lindayo Sisulu, who revealed that the person responsible for the contentious Gulam X account is a woman employed by President Cyril Ramaphosa's media office. At the Independent Media Unmasking Project media briefing, this revelation was announced. Following an inquiry by independent media, the operators of the account were found to be Mohammed Yaqub and 2 other people, one of whom was the president's wife. This account has generated a great deal of controversy because of its postings, which often spark political arguments and disputes. Ex-user Gulam is well known for disseminating contentious political statements. Suspicions about the account's impact and the content of its tweets triggered an inquiry. The account's linkages to high-level government communication channels made the authorities curious about the account's objectives and affiliations. In order to obtain evidence, speak with witnesses, and compile pertinent data, law enforcement authorities have started a comprehensive investigation. The prompt action taken by the authorities emphasizes how serious this matter is and how